It really sets Shadow up now for a new season. Season 3, he now knows everything. The flashback is such a beautiful moment because it really does show how far we've come in so many levels. You know, you see how happy they were together, how they were a unit. You know, life wasn't always dark and grey and dull. Even in the flashback in season 1, when we see them meeting, you know, you always sense that Laura was maybe this cold, you know, distant person, but here we actually see them having fun and laughing together, just enjoying time in a park. Shadow eating. That was my choice because I like eating. But you see this beautiful relationship that we've not seen yet, and then it cuts straight into "Don't Call Me Puppy," which is something that was really important because there was a strange kind of insistence that there were racial undertones in season 1 with the puppy reference, and we wanted to establish that it's in the book. Neil Gaiman wrote it in his book, and we wanted to kind of portray that in the show, that it was Shadow's idea, and it's that Laura actually wanted a puppy. Her mother would never let her. It's because everyone, you know, is pushing for Sweeney and Laura to be together, and they've been separated, and then you've got this, you know, this infatuation that Shadow had in life with Laura, and now in death, Laura has it with Shadow. It's just great to see a grown-up conversation. They could have argued and said, yeah, but you cheated on me and this and that, and it wasn't that. And we could talk about them just getting together for the sake of things, but no, it's a grown-up conversation where two people genuinely care about each other, but realize that they're not right for each other. Or a couple of people there were different kind of moments, drafts, and it was where people were telling Shadow who his father was and informing him, and we thankfully went back to our recipe of Shadow informing the audience of how to feel and what to think, and we went back to, within the whole episode, Shadow's perspective. And as Shadow starts to figure things out, we let the audience figure things out, and we managed a way of both Shadow and the audience working this out together, and no one telling them, and no one actually says Wednesday's Shadow's father. No one still said it. It might not even happen. We don't even know, but we've made that assumption, which I think is great, because this show has always been about perspectives and you know, leaving it to the audience to kind of make up their minds about certain things. But it's fantastic, and this is why I love this job. This is why I came to America, is to do projects where you can litter Easter eggs around. And we've been working on this throughout season 1 and throughout season 2, and we've already laid foundations for future seasons and other reveals. And it's phenomenal writing, and I love it. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this show where we can kind of really blow people's minds with big reveals like that. And it really sets Shadow up now for a new season. Season 3, he now knows everything. This is great writing. So we don't actually say that they're the cops that they were looking for Shadow Moon. You're making assumptions before you guys go, well, his picture was on the TV. It doesn't matter what the license says. They're looking for the picture. Gotcha. We didn't say they're looking for Shadow Moon, but you thought it. But it does. It sets it up, and it goes, once again, we're following Neil Gaiman's incredible book. And Shadow now has an alias. He has a name. He has an address. So he has somewhere to go. You know, he doesn't just turn up into Lakeside or leave town and think, where am I going to go? He's been given almost a calling card. You know, go and find this address. It must exist. And so it's a fascinating moment in this story where, after all that's happened as well, and after all the information that's been given to Shadow and that he's learned literally within the last hour or so, it's a way back in for Wednesday. You know, throughout season 1, he constantly moaned to Wednesday about staying out of prison. He's not going back. And now, after all the horrible things and secrets that Wednesday kept from Shadow, not being around for him for his whole childhood, you know, when his mother died, his wife died, he killed his wife, had his wife killed, all the kind of traumatic things that any child goes through, that any young adult goes through, that any adult goes through, never mind Shadow, the universal punch bag, goes through. It's a way back in for Wednesday, because he's just kept Shadow Moon out of prison, and he's guided him along. So, you know, maybe it's all been part of the master plan, and was Shadow guided throughout his whole life to be here at this moment. So, once again, this show brings fantastic dynamics and relationships, constantly crossing over. And just when you think you kind of know where one thing's going, we kind of keep flipping it over. So, you know, in my head, I was like, there's no way Shadow would ever talk to Wednesday. You know, it's how do you talk to some, you know, if you don't know your father, and you find out he didn't know he had a son, then you can understand that. Or if you find out he was ashamed, or he couldn't get to you, or he didn't have the funds, you know, there's different things. This is Odin. This is a god. He could have helped you out anytime, but you suffered. And so you're going to hold that for a while. But once again, they found a way of kind of allowing a chink in Shadow's armor. And with Shadow, as tough as he is still a good guy.